About to go live. Okay, cool. We're live. Hey everyone. So we're this is Ian underscore movies underscore whatever. This is our Mortal Kombat stream. Mortal Kombat 2's been out for almost about a month. So I figured we'd just get into a discussion, spoilers, of course, since the movie's been out for a while now. I just wanted to get into what we liked about the movie, what we disliked, and I'm here with Phil, you know, happy to have him on. And so, yeah, Phil, I mean, let's just get right into it. What are your thoughts? What did you like? What did you dislike about Mortal Kombat 2?
I don't really think there was much to dislike other than the fact they killed Cole Young so fast.
I mean, yeah, in a unceremoniously, yeah.
I mean, they were kind of setting it up through the small amount of screen time he had. He's like, I'll die if it means the world is safe. And it's like, we're really doing that. Oh, okay,
A
for
little
sure.
on the nose for sure, but yeah.
Yep,
No,
yep.
I agree though. I really don't have any dislikes at all for the movie. Pretty immediately I was in love with that movie. Since I've
Yeah, I
seen it.
mean, it shifts its focus, right? Because the first film focused a lot on like Cole Young and then the
Mhm.
Scorpion Sub-Zero conflict, right? And that was all gravy.
Mhm.
This one, right, really shifts the focus from that to some other fan favorites like Katana and Johnny Cage. They're front and center, right? And of
Yep.
course, the whole Shao Kahn thing, which was honestly, it was really well executed, no pun intended. Um, but yeah, it's funny because like when you look at the 95 and 97 movies, Mortal Kombat and Annihilation, the 95 movie was fun. Annihilation is not so much. But this one, following in the footsteps of the 2021 movie, this one is like a step up in nearly every regard,
Oh yeah.
I mean, the action is more clean cut, the editing is so much better. They actually let the fights breathe. It's really nice. It's actually paced really well for a fighting game movie. And
Mhm.
I've even said it, but like before, I said this is probably, the best fighting game adaptation made to date. And I know some people are like, "What about Street Fighter?" And I'm like, "I don't give a shit about
Oh
Street
my
Fighter.
god,
That movie looks like dog water anyway." Um, no, like when it comes to Mortal Kombat 2, it was one of my most anticipated movies, and it delivered on pretty much every level. I love Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. I honestly was not expecting like the whole him and Baraka having like a
Yeah.
relationship type thing, not a romantic one, but like
But like a pals, yeah, like
yeah,
respect.
that was
Yeah.
funny. That was really funny.
I think that was a friendship in one of the games, I'm pretty sure. Like
Might have been, yeah.
it might have been, I think. Which yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you, Phil. I mean, honestly, yeah, and I mean, honestly, I mean, I would say like Kung Lao and oh yeah, like Kung Lao and Liu Kang had an amazing fight in that ether place they went to, but personally I
So
did love Johnny Cage and Baraka's fight the most. And it is the most hyped. I mean, he goes through that battle or he goes through that fight like kind of struggling a lot, but once he
yeah.
locks in when they're like be an actor, oh my god. That shit went hard, dude.
Yeah, yeah, and the funny thing is like when Kung Lao and Liu Kang fought, that was actually a stage from 2.
Yeah.
Because it's
Mhm.
the portal stage, right? Like, they
Yeah.
actually managed to bring that to life, and, that whole fight was actually really, really well done,
Oh yeah.
even the fact that, like, Liu Kang used his Kung Lao's own helmet to fucking murk him,
Yeah.
that was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it had a lot more like emotional depth to that fight for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously them being cousins. But yeah, no, I'm actually curious to see what they do with Liu Kang after he disappeared, to the nether realm after Shao Kahn had killed him. But I mean, I'm pretty sure based on like the movie how it like played out and how it ended, we're pretty confidently going to have more revenants be a prominent thing going forward, I would say. Um Obviously with Shinnok's amulet being like pretty much like the entirety based around this whole film, like being like giving that to Shao Kahn so he could be immortal and then, all this and that. But that would be pretty interesting. But for the movie, like we'll talk more about the predictions for the next film. But like, yeah, fights were amazing, like you said. Definitely thought it was really well paced. Love to give Katana and Johnny the spotlights for sure. I think some characters that people probably didn't think shined as much in the last film definitely shine out here. I think Liu Kang does for sure. Like you said, I wish Cole Young was a little bit there was more respect put on him, but I get I mean, unfortunately people didn't like him. And I mean, to be
Yeah.
fair, when it first came out, I was actually in that camp, but I think slowly as I just kept rewatching the movie, I was like, I don't mind him at all. Like it's pretty fun. Wish they added him into the one of the games. That would have been fun.
I've always said like the Cole Young character is to the movie what, your new characters are in each installment. They may be forgettable, but they get brought up and some stick around longer than others. But,
Yeah.
you know, it just kind of sucks that you have such a great actor in Louis Tan and his character just gets totally shit on by these Mortal Kombat fans because they're like, he's not from the game. And it's like, could you be any more whiny about it?
Yeah. I I think my gripes were more for characters that got introduced too early for me that got killed off, so I was kinda, like, a little upset about it, but, I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair now with the Revenants being a thing, I'm sure they'll bring them back. The only thing for me, though, that was the inconsistency was that, like, it's cool that we have finally got Kitana, right, in this new series that they've come up with, but having introduced Melina in the previous movie, it kinda sucks that they didn't, like, wanna do that, like the clone sort of sister, kind of thing, but I don't know.
I feel like that could come back.
I'm sure like if Shang Tsung wants to make another clone of her or something, I'm sure they'll just bring her back, call her Melina.
Right.
I mean, they're literally ignoring the Arcana thing from the first movie,
Yeah.
like straight up. Like they're like, we're not even gonna mention it, which is kind of crazy because for me, it's kind of a lazy writing tool. It's a lazy thing for a writer to be like, or they wrote something in the previous film, so I'm just gonna like ignore it basically.
I
Where I'm
think
like,
Jeremy Slater considered it like this is our franchise's midi-chlorians, and it's like, oh brother, come on, what are we doing here?
yeah, it's just the thing. Like, if it was bad, I feel like just write. Like, I think it's a neat writing challenge to just kind of like write yourself out of it, or at least like write it better. In a
Well, it's
way.
like how else do you explain these people getting certain powers to fight in this thing called Mortal Kombat? Like
Yeah.
either
Yep.
embrace it or don't. Like it's I can see that. Even just thinking about that was something I clocked too. I was like, oh, they're not even just going to mention the word Arcana in this movie. All right,
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it
Uh,
is.
it is what. Yeah, like you said. I mean, they literally in the title of this movie open with just Mortal Kombat, not even having the two logo included, like in front of the
Nope.
young katana. Which kind of showed me right away. They're like, yeah, we're trying to get away from that first movie, which is crazy because there's a lot of good shit in that first movie. So I mean, you don't have to try to stray away from it too much.
No.
But I mean, to be fair, I mean, we got a good movie out of it. So I mean, honestly, I'm liking where we're going. So I mean, we'll accept it going forward, and we'll just like move with the punches. Because I mean, Mortal Kombat 2 was just too good to me to be like, but they didn't do this, they didn't do
I
that.
I almost wonder if it's going to have like the Dark Knight effect where like the second movie's so good, I don't know how you top it. And I'm not saying that they should try and top it. I'm saying they should at the very least try and tell a good story. And obviously, Shang Tsung is as he is. He's always plotting, always trying to take over Earthrealm.
Hmm.
So as far as the dead characters and them coming back, I don't necessarily think that Liu Kang is in the Nether realm. I mean, he could be, but he could
Yeah.
be up with the Elder Gods. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible.
I'm not 100% on that on those details. It's been a hot minute since I've even played, because Liu Kang dies in Deadly Alliance or Deception. It's one of them because Shang
Yeah,
Tsung Shang
they
Tsung straight up sneaks up behind him, breaks his neck. But he
yeah,
obviously he did not get that treatment in the movies, which I'm totally fine with. But yeah, it'll be
it's
interesting to see how they bring him and Kung Lao back. The journey that people are going to go on. Obviously, the NetherRealm is probably going to play a part because you know Shinnok's amulet, Quan Chi,
yeah.
considering Shao Kahn is no longer the threat now, like you need a new threat. I am banking on the fact that Shinnok is going to be the big bad of the third film.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. That's really what that was their whole shtick was to kinda just lead into it. I mean, the references to him, everything, we just
Yeah.
we're just yeah. So that's why it's like I could see them going MKX kind of route. I mean, obviously, even before that in Mortal Kombat 4, they had the Shinnok storyline.
Yeah.
So either one, but at least with X, they're following the Revenant kind of stuff, so that's more likely they'll do
Yeah.
that. But like you said, yeah, for sure, I could see that happening. I mean, I figured that they were gonna try to tease something at the end, but I mean, maybe it was safer not to. They didn't want to promise necessarily that. I mean, they did kind of tease by having Quan Chi have them use Quan Chi to go get their dead friends and stuff. But
I
I
think
mean,
the ending of the movie is enough of a setup, honestly.
yeah,
That's just me
yeah.
though.
No, I've come to that camp too because I was like, yeah, you're right, because they do kind of just set up like, hey, we're gonna go get our friends back and stuff, and then they have Quan Chi and handcuffs and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, I totally see it. I just hope that they don't ridicule like because I think Quan Chi was a pretty good character in this film. I mean, he did what he had to do. I just hope that in the next film, if they want to do sort of a Deadly Alliance situation with Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, that they
Yeah.
just kind of show off more of that, like, I don't know how to explain it, but just more that villainous, more like, these are our big bads kind of, well, like the ones that are gonna help try to get Shinnok. But I
Yeah.
mean, to the point too that you brought up about Kung Lao and Liu Kang, I mean, I saw that the actors were talking about wanting to hopefully do a Shaolin Monks spinoff. That would be kind of
Yeah.
cool. That would be pretty sick. Um, so yeah, I mean, we have a lot of possibilities going forward. I'm looking forward to the future of the franchise. I haven't looked at the box office in a bit, so I mean, I'm pretty sure they made back their budget. I'm just hoping they make, like, the double thing so they could, like, warrant it being, like, worth going forward. But they've already written 3, I think. At least they're already kinda going in production, if I'm not
Jeremy
mistaken. I could be
Slater
wrong.
is writing a draft. That much I do know.
Okay,
I don't
so
he said he was done with his second draft. As of right now, according to Box Office Mojo, the worldwide total is 122 million.
yeah, okay.
So,
Yeah, I was looking at that right now too. Yeah, so we'll see. Unfortunately, I mean, I did like Mando and Grogu, but unfortunately that takes away more screens to the Mortal Kombat movie and stuff, and obviously going forward more movies coming out. But
I mean, we're in the summer movie season. It's inevitable. It's just
yeah,
gonna, as the weeks go on, each movie coming out is going to have its second week slashed by the next incoming thing. Like, for example, I would imagine that some of Toy Story's box office is going to get affected by Supergirl, and then going into July, you've got the Odyssey, and then Spider-Man 2 weeks after that. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's a back-to-back sort of situation. We'll see like what takes over what. So,
well,
nah,
next
you're
week
right.
is Masters of the Universe and Scary Movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They both released the same day,
Two pretty.
but
Yeah.
in Mortal Kombat's case, it still hasn't hit VOD or HBO Max.
That's also true. That could actually maybe propel it more because the first movie did really well streaming wise. It was probably like the biggest one they had on their platform at the
Yep.
time, HBO Max. So Mortal Kombat 2 coming on HBO Max, I'm sure it'll make, like, in terms of viewer numbers, it'll probably do gangbusters. So I wouldn't worry too much, I guess, coming from our talk right now about like it not have maybe getting that sequel if the numbers on streaming do well too.
I
But
wish it was released earlier. I wish it would have stuck to its October date instead of May. I don't like that because it had
yeah.
no competition in October, and that's the part that kind of pisses me off. It could have had like a really great October box office haul, and it just didn't because for whatever reason they were like, "Oh, we want this to be a summer hit," and it's like, "Fuck you."
I mean that's the thing though, is that our 2026 summer though is a little too jam packed though for it
Yeah,
to, you know, warrant being there that long. That's why, like you said, in October it would have flourished. I think it actually probably would have made more money just because what was really out around then,
nothing.
Mortal Kombat was going to be the biggest thing. So
I mean, Tron Ares dove off a cliff and bombed harder than the previous movie. So
yeah,
I really don't think it would have had much competition.
mm-mm, I don't think so either. So yeah, we'll see. I think streaming numbers will help. So I'm not going to be worried about there not being another Mortal Kombat movie going forward. And since we did get into a bit of our little like what we think is going to happen in the future with the Mortal Kombat movie, so we already got in our predictions. I also wanted to bring up, like we brought up on Discord, about a modern Lin Kuei being introduced with Kuai Liang
Yeah,
going forward. That'd be pretty sick.
I'd be very
Really love to
curious to
see
see
that.
how they handle that, or even some of the cyborg ninjas like Cyrax and Sector.
Yeah, getting cybernetic plotline in there, that would be
Yeah,
sick. I also am a big fan of Frost as a character. I'd like if they just wanted to straight up just have her already be part of the Link Way, as like someone that's already like in their sort of um what do you call it, clan or whatever you want to
Well, I
call it.
mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, if you can do an ancestral thing with Cole Young, and it doesn't, there's no saying that the rules don't apply to Bihan,
Oh
obviously.
yeah, yeah,
Like
for
when I
sure.
think of Sub-Zero and I think of the Lin Kuei, it's just like there's no way that you can't just like not go back to that. I mean, obviously, they made him Noob Saibot in this movie, and it was dope as shit to see him as Noob. That was great.
That was awesome.
But I'm right there with you. I kind of want another Sub-Zero, like in how the games handle it, like either a brother or an ancestor. I want that. But
Mhm.
Frost would be cool. And like I said, Cyrax and Sector, they're also part of the Lin Kuei. Like just
And Smoke too, that would be
yep,
cool.
that'd be a fun one.
Yeah, so no, yeah, you're right though, honestly. I forgot about that. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, that would be sick as hell. Also, do you like that in this Mortal Kombat 2 they don't refer to him as Noob Saibot, unfortunately. They just kept calling him Bihan, which was kind of like, I wish they called him Noob Saibot.
Uh I mean, I could take it or leave it. We knew full well who he was. I don't think he needed
Yeah,
I it would have been nice. I'll say
yeah,
that.
yeah, it
It
would have
would
been
have
nice.
been nice to have
Yeah,
that one thing. But I did really like, and I found hilarious, Ed Boon's little cameo giving Johnny Cage a drink. That was
that was
fun.
that was pretty good. He's like, "You're a little bit more animated, Johnny." I'm like, "Yeah, that's awesome." I just yeah. No, Ed Boon was a great cameo. I love that.
Fun fact,
Um,
I met Ed Boon.
oh yeah? Where did when
Yeah.
did you where did you meet him?
San Diego Comic Con 2024.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, he was outside the convention center. He had just wrapped doing press for Mortal Kombat 1, the video game.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I waited till there, weren't too many people. And I walked up to him and I was like, "Excuse me, Ed Boon. Hi, I'm a huge fan. I love Mortal Kombat. Thank you for all you've done, et cetera, et cetera." And I was like, "But I bet you get a lot of questions about Injustice 3." And he just kind of went, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm not gonna ask. I just had to wonder, like, do you get a lot of questions about it?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, but you know, Mortal Kombat 1, haven't played it yet." That's funny. That's the only one I haven't played is the new Mortal Kombat 1. I have not
Mm,
played that one, but I've played practically every other game in the series. So I played, 11, I played 10. I played, the soft reboot, which was just called Mortal Kombat when it came out on PS3 and Xbox 360
yep.
back in those days when I was still working at GameStop. I played Deception. I played a fuck ton of Deadly Alliance. I played Armageddon as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so I'm very familiar with a lot of the older stuff. I started with I want to say it was either 3 or 4, whichever one went to PlayStation, play the original PlayStation. So I think it was 3.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they did the on yeah, at home platforms, I think they got Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and that was 3, I
Yeah.
believe. So, yeah, that was most likely it. But yeah, no, I mean, I like, talking to some a fan like you that also has played a lot of the games. I would say it's worth playing though, Mortal Kombat 1 if you wanna get to it at some point. The thing about it though is that I do have some issues with writing for the story mode because there is some stuff that they kinda write themselves into a corner.
That
A
sucks.
and it's really weird because Mortal Kombat 11 just got off the tail end of doing, like, timeline stuff,
Yeah.
and they unfortunately, like, I mean, they just unfortunately do multiverse stuff in 1, which kinda didn't make sense to me because Mortal Kombat 1 was promoted as being this new era, right? So this is just brand new start again,
Yeah.
a brand new start, new like anything could happen, but rather than just keeping it to being more grounded that way, they were like, "Well, we're gonna introduce multiverse and have all these things happen." And I'm like, "You didn't have to go so big with that. Could have kept it more grounded, but
Mm,
whatever." But mechanically, like gameplay wise, Mortal Kombat 1 is pristine. Like I will say that, like, the cameo mechanic, which is basically just having, like, a secondary character come in from the background to, like
right.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
to, like, kinda hit you or use a move on you. I think that's pretty cool. I know people in the fandom are kinda, like, iffy on it, but I think it's pretty fun. The only thing is that some of the cameos are relegated to just being cameos, so if you wanted Shujinko or, like, like different versions of characters. Like Sonya and Jax aren't even actually playable characters or cameos, so you know they're not playable as like actual characters. But it's still
That's
fun.
weird.
I know it's really weird, but I will admit, still pretty fun. Which is a good transition actually to our the video game part of this, since Mortal Kombat's always been the video game franchise before the movies. Um, what is your favorite Mortal Kombat game if you would have to say like from the mainline games?
Deadly Alliance.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Deadly Alliance, like without question. Armageddon was the one I probably played a lot because I had a PlayStation 2. But if I'm being brutally honest, Deadly Alliance was the one I played the most because A, it just has the best title. B, I believe it's either that one or Deception where Liu Kang dies. I'm pretty sure it's Deception, but it could be Deadly Alliance. But
I you know what you're getting me thinking, because I recently just replayed it and I got to see the cinematic at the beginning. I'm pretty sure I think it's Deadly Alliance, because the beginning of Deception has Quan Chi, Shang Tsung, like, resurrecting that Dragon King. So I'm pretty sure it's Deadly Alliance that starts with the Liu Kang dying immediately, which is a pretty ballsy thing to do, honestly, for
yeah,
one of your main characters, just to crack his neck on screen and be like, "Yep, he's dead."
yep,
Which I Deadly Alliance is is an amazing title. I agree with your pick. I like your pick. It also introduced Kenshi, which is one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters too. If I had to pick my own though, I guess it's always been between Deadly Alliance and 9 for me. But uh, I mean, I think I'll probably go with 9, but my opinions always shift. But I always did love 9. It was one of the, it brought back the series from the unfortunate, like, like, I say unfortunate because it could have been something good, but NetherRealm Studios at the time, I really don't think they utilized the DC universe crossing over Mortal Kombat very well at the time when they did 8. So going off of that and making 9, it was a pretty damn good reboot of the series, but it was also just a damn good game. It
yeah,
also it brought back a lot of cool characters. It introduced new character, singular, Scarlet, that I really liked. But yeah, I like your pick though. Deadly Alliance is a fantastic. I mean, honestly, besides Mortal Kombat versus DC, I think I'd probably say any of them are good picks in the series, but Deadly Alliance is definitely an amazing pick.
yeah.
Um, so for mainline games, those are great. Have you played any of the spin-offs like Shaolin Monks or any of those older ones?
No, my cousin. Excuse me. My cousin used to play Shaolin Monks all the time, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, it's different. It's not traditional fighting game, but I will say it's a pretty good time if you get to it. It's pretty fun. Uh, Ed Boon did a he did I believe on X and Threads, he did a poll to see who wants which game to be remastered. They asked about Mortal Kombat 9 and Shaolin Monks. It looked like Shaolin Monks beat it out. In an ideal world, we'd get both. That'd be awesome. But if it happens, we're most likely going to get Shaolin Monks remastered, which would be great. But I wouldn't, what do you call it? I wouldn't be worried. I know that they're in the pipeline. It's in the pipeline to make another Mortal Kombat game, but ahead of it, I'm pretty confidently thinking that Injustice 3 is definitely on the horizon for sure. So it would not,
Yeah,
it will
yeah,
not interfere for sure.
yeah. I'm pretty sure the next game they pump out is probably going to be Injustice 3.
Yeah, I'm pretty fairly sure. I think also with the new DCU, I think it just kind of works well. I don't think they need to. They're not gonna. It's not for that reason, but it just happens to be in a good spot where you're like, okay, we have this new universe. People are gonna also maybe want to like play a new Injustice game in this new era, kind of
Well,
thing.
also, the comics are really really flourishing because of the
They
Absolute
are
Universe
the,
too.
the absolute universe. Oh,
So,
skin, the absolute versions,
well,
like
not even Absolute because there was an event that came out earlier this year, DCKO,
yeah,
which
yeah.
basically, it kind of repositions things a little bit, and it's every man for himself for the most
Mhm.
part. It's kind of like Mortal Kombat Armageddon in a way,
Yeah.
but the stakes are a little bit more amplified because Darkseid has basically sapped the power of the Spectre, and he's become this like immortal being, and he basically takes it upon himself to just end existence in every timeline at every point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Watcher, well, not the Watcher, but like the Timekeeper of the DC universe is actually an accelerated future version of Doomsday, and he calls upon the DC heroes on top of Superman to be like, "Yo, your universe is basically met its end because Darkseid has ascended past a god. So
Mm-hmm.
it's up to you guys to figure it out and fucking fight him and keep him at bay." That's the conflict now. So I think that would be a pretty prime, you know, storyline to use for Injustice. Also, because if the first two games also kind of dabble with the multiverse a bit too,
Mm-hmm.
and
They do.
DCKO does do that in a sense because it does yank the absolute characters to fight against Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be fun, but the next big crossover is apparently like absolute multiverse crisis or something like that. It's like I think it's like um, it's something with like multiverse and crisis in the title. Like
Okay.
I know Scott Snyder's kind of working on that, and that's something down the line. But basically, like it's all the multiverse coming together to fucking fight each other. Because one of the
Yeah.
last panels in DCKO 5 is like you see, some of the absolute characters. You see like Ultraman and all those guys from Earth 3. Like you see basically the DC multiverse just kind of coming into a collision.
Yeah. No, actually, I luckily did read those issues of DCKO. I also read like the spin-off issues of like the ones with the Batman characters. Like I like Jason, like all the Robins getting their own version of being a Batman. Um, no, but it's a good. You're right. That would be the perfect storyline event to try to adapt into Injustice 3. So that would be pretty sick. Especially with their inclusion of Sub-Zero in there as well, since they had him there, and also since they've already dabbled in it in the other previous games, like the like having some of those characters in them. But yeah, I mean, it's on the horizon, hopefully. So we'll see. But I would not um it will not be it will not interfere. I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna simultaneously work on some stuff. Anyway, but yeah, continuing on the game stuff, what would you say is your favorite Mortal Kombat character from the games?
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero? Which
Sub-Zero.
okay.
Bihan specifically.
Oh, Bihan. Okay, I was about to ask.
The
Yeah,
OG.
the OG.
The
That's a good
OG.
I mean, always go with a classic, and it's never a bad choice. Sub-Zero is always great.
I mean, the
Always
first character I ever played as was Reptile, and obviously I've got a soft spot for Scorpion, but the character I mained and played the most when it came to Mortal Kombat was Sub-Zero every time, all the time. I love Sub-Zero both as a hero as an antagonist. I think he's really great. I always just thought visually he looked dope as shit. So yeah, he's just my go-to character. Anytime I can play it, Mortal Kombat, I usually try and play as Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Fair, fair. I agree. Fantastic character. It's also great to play mechanically. I think in most of the games, he could
Yeah.
be pretty good. I know him, if you ever get to Mortal Kombat 1, he's probably like one of the best characters if you could like to play as, I would say. Um, which, fair, obviously. Uh, mine's a weird one. I so like I mean I always like I mean I really could tell you like I love every single Mortal Kombat character except for maybe 6 and I have them all in my head. I love every single other character in the franchise. And none of them are like none of the 6 I am talking about are any of the main characters or just like some characters I think they introduced later that I just didn't care about.
Yeah.
But I've always had a soft spot for Raiden, but in particular, I wouldn't say like that when they did the reboot era, I didn't really like him because he kind of did a lot of dumb decisions, I feel like. But once they got to that storyline in X and made him Dark Raiden by the end of it, I don't know what it was, dude. Dark Raiden just became like one of my favorite characters of the franchise. But it's weird because again, it's like this sort of thing where it's a character they introduce, but they don't utilize him very much. Like once they introduced him at the end of X and he was brought in and the beginning of 11, he just disappears. And I feel like 11 was promoting it to be like he was the big bad, I thought it would have been cool Of course, like, it didn't need to go that way. I think 11 still had a pretty good story, overall. But, yeah, I don't know. Dark Raiden is a weird choice for me, but that's just who I like. So,
That's
you know,
fair.
I don't care. Yeah, Dark Raiden. But, like I said, I love all the characters, so really there's no ill will against any of the other characters in the franchise. I think the only ones I could tell you I don't like is, like, I've never been a fan of Kotal Khan. I've I've ne
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of Devora. Uh, I think I'm trying to remember her name, but it's like this character that rides on the back of this creature guy from X.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Maybe Farah is her name or something. Yeah, just a few of those characters I just don't care for in the franchise. I know like I love the species in the Mortal Kombat universe and Outworld of like whatever I forget the name of what Goro is, but Goro and Shiva, the
Yes.
four-armed characters. I love those characters so much. Shiva and Goro are awesome, but I've never been a big fan of Kataro. I just feel like he's just a reskinned of like, being Goro, but like in a tiger form in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just never really vibed with him. But anyway, away from that, yeah. But yeah. No,
I think Baraka's
that's
fun. I like Tarkatans.
Tarkar.
Tarkatans are cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. Baraka's always been fun. I think he's really good in Mortal Kombat 1, but I also think he's good in most of the games too. Even in the original, like Mortal Kombat 3, he's awesome. Yeah, yeah, he's really good in the original games as well. Um, and I'm sorry
Oh,
if I'm. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just realized there's someone else I want to see in the third Mortal Kombat movie if they get around to making it.
Yeah. Which one?
Ermac.
Oh, dude, Ermac would go fucking crazy.
Yeah,
We
Ermac
need
would be
him.
fucking lit. I would love to watch that character come to life.
He's prime to be introduced to because I mean Quan Chi, brought back Bihan as Noob Saibot. Aramac's created by Quan Chi as well, so I mean,
Right.
it just works. It just fits perfectly if they wanted to do that. Um, and I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, by the way.
No, you're good.
Let's go back to the movie side since you did bring up Mortal Kombat 3. I think I had asked you once. I know you like Battle of the Realms from the Mortal Kombat Legends
Yeah.
cartoon. What are your opinions on the other 3 of the Legends? And also, if I have to mention it, Journey Begins, I guess.
So the only one I haven't seen is Cage Fury, but I have
Okay.
seen Scorpion's Revenge, Battle of the Realms, and Snowblind, the Kenshi movie.
Mhm.
Liked all 3 of them. I think they're all pretty great. Even the Kenshi movie even goes as far as to like, kind of reset the timeline and all that shit, which is
Mhm.
cool. But yeah, my absolute favorite is Battle of the Realms.
Yeah.
It really is like a pretty perfect Mortal Kombat movie in a certain respect. You've got the tournament, you've got Liu Kang front and center, you've got Jack Briggs gets his arms ripped off. Like you literally get everything in this movie, and it's all very well executed, no pun intended. Like
Yeah.
it's just a damn good movie and a damn good Mortal Kombat movie, and it had the number 1 spot for me until 2.
Yeah. Until 2.
Yeah.
That's fair, dude. I honestly think Scorpion's Revenge, Battle of Realms are a good pairing. They obviously
Yeah.
are meant to be because Battle of Realms is the sequel to that.
Right.
But I agree. Battle of Realms has a lot of awesome things about it. I like, and that's nothing against that. I think I just did a ranking on my TikTok, and I literally was like, besides Journey Begins, I love all these movies, and
Yeah.
Battle of Realms is up there. I think it's pretty up there for me too. I just kind of fall closer to Scorpion's Revenge just because I like the way they like focused on Hanzo for a bit, but I also did like their just the classic, what they did with like bringing Raiden and having Raiden recruit Johnny, Sonya, that kind of thing. I know it's probably isn't as, I think they actually did introduce some neat concepts in Battle of the Realms, like in particular when Liu Kang becomes the dragon to fight that one
Mm-hmm.
deity being and stuff. And I did like that side plot they had going on with the cybernetics having Scorpion work with Sub-Zero. That was pretty cool. So, and I mean, not like I will say, I think is a Cage Fury, Cage Match, whichever one's the Johnny Cage one. That one has
Cage
some neat
Fury.
Cage Fury also
I
has
haven't
some
seen it.
pretty neat aspects to it too. it's kind of a retelling of Johnny just being that narrator where he's like, I did all these cool shit, like it happened this
Yeah.
way. But it's funny. It's a good time. There's some it's still well animated. There's even a mocap sort of reference in there, which is pretty funny. Um, so yeah, and I agree with you. Snowblind is a neat concept they brought in with the timeline stuff, specifically with Kano using Chronica's of whatever her crown or whatever to make this timeline for himself. I did like that sort of older, you know, Sub-Zero teaching this young Kenshi how to fight and
Yeah.
how to be a good fighter as a blind person, and everything. Yeah, it was just a cool story. Yeah, so the Mortal Kombat Legends series is a pretty neat series, both animation, stories, and stuff. I just wish they would have continued. I understand that they probably just cut it off for whatever reason. I don't really actually know what they might have said about it, but I just think that was an interesting thing to bring into the Mortal Kombat, like, just something different from what we got. Like we always get the games. I
Mhm.
guess now we might be getting more live action stuff. Before this, like before the legend stuff, we had the Journey Begins, which again is I don't really like at all, but I know it
Yeah.
was probably neat at the time in the 90s before the Mortal Kombat 95 came out. But they did have that Defenders of the Realm cartoon back in 96, and for what it is, Saturday morning cartoon, it's a lot of fun. I actually rewatched it recently. It's just one season, but for what it was at the time, I thought it was a pretty fun cartoon. But it's just that neat thing about these movies is that you can really go all in with all the animation showing off the fatalities, going even bloodier and gorier than you could ever do in live action. Though I'm not like dissing live action. Live action does it pretty fucking well, especially with the new movie.
Mhm.
But it's just cool to see it in animation as well. So, you know, just a neat uh format to put it in. Because I think besides, like I said, the movies and the games, we've had the animated movies, we've had that one cartoon TV show, but we also had Mortal Kombat Conquest and
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat what
Legacy.
was Legacy on YouTube, yeah. Legacy. Which they did their thing. I think they had some neat aspects to both of them, but they
Yeah,
just
I agree.
they just didn't, continue past that. I do think though, from watching Mortal Kombat 2, I still think Mortal Kombat works well in the TV format if they're given the chance to put in a good budget, letting it breathe for a while. Because then you could also just focus on individual characters, like, and give them a lot of, you know, time on screen as well. Because as much as I love Mortal Kombat 2, I still in the back of my head were like, but you don't get to see, some other, people kind of get more time in there. But
Mhm.
like again, not a diss to that movie because I really love that movie. So it's just more me thinking like I'd want to see more of what I love, basically. So,
Yeah, that
um,
makes sense.
so uh, this was a question I had. You didn't play Mortal Kombat 1, but I guess either you could look them up or just let me know what you think. But I know they've had guest characters since Mortal Kombat 9 or just Mortal Kombat for 2011. They've been doing guest characters since then. Have you had any guest character you liked? I know I'm not like I like the guest characters, so I was just curious if you like had a particular one you thought was really cool to play or just like that they included in one of the games.
No, I often forget they're there, if I'm being brutally
Yeah.
honest. I'm kind of a traditional fighting game player in that respect. I don't really try and rely on other characters coming on the screen. It's like very Marvel versus Capcom-ish. So,
Mm,
I
yeah.
just yeah, it's not really my bag.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, I've come to sort of get tired of it now just because I definitely can see more slots going to like Mortal Kombat characters. Like if we could get some older ones from like the like when the 3D era first started with Deadly Alliance and stuff. Like if there's any characters we still haven't gotten since then, I'd rather to give those slots to them other over the guest characters.
Yeah.
So like I would love to see like Blaze or like Meat or or like,
Yeah.
any of those, like, ones from, like, Deception or Armageddon that we still haven't seen. The Dragon King? I'm forgetting his name. Let me look him up really quick. Dragon King. Onaga. Yeah, Onaga.
Yeah,
He'd
Onaga. I remember that character.
yeah, he'd be pretty cool to bring back. So yeah, I think that's how the fandom feels too. I think at this point we're just kind of I think we just need our Mortal Kombat characters to be Mortal Kombat and not have to bring in like whatever 80s action star or a slasher character. But to be
Mhm.
fair, I liked it when they started it. I just think it's been kind of tiring now, I feel like at
Mm.
this point. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that tracks.
Yeah, because like when Mortal Kombat 9 came out, they had Freddy Krueger and then they had what's his name from Kratos from God of War, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, they do kind of continue that trend going forward. I think in one is kind of like where when they introduced that cameo function or mechanic, I guess they do tend it does tend to feel like but you could have used them as actual slots in the game rather than putting them as cameos. But instead, they put guest characters in those slots, and I'm like, you know, just could have been some other character. Like I know he's more of a joke character now, but I love Bo Racho. Bo Racho, Drunken Master character.
Yeah, he's a
He's
fun
a
one.
he's a neat he has neat fighting mechanics in the games when he's actually like in them.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the new era, since you haven't played Mortal Kombat 1, in the new era, they have this character named Madame Bo, so just a female version of more of Bo Racho. But still,
Uh,
I'd want to see him come back. That would be kind of a fun character to bring back and use. So
yeah, he was a fun character thrown up everywhere. I remember Boracho. He's fun.
yeah, I,
Trying to think. There are other characters I would really like to see. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing like a resurrected reptile, but like in human form.
yeah, that'd
That'd
be
be
pretty
fun.
sick. I agree. Uh, there is like character. I don't think we've seen some of the characters in a while. Like I like Cabal a lot. He'd be pretty fun to bring back.
Well, he died in the first
Yeah,
movie.
I
But,
know.
given the state of the world at the moment, yeah. Um, I could see them, kind of dipping back in their well for characters who have died, like Melina and a bunch of other characters and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, we could bring back some introducing new characters. I mean, I would for sure like it's too much to say. Like obviously MK3 is gonna have to we're not gonna get everything we want, of course, but
Right.
if I wanted to just bring in any characters, I definitely Kenshi's number one on my list for sure. Um, I'd like to see, like we already brought up the Link Way. I'd like to see Nightwolf. I've always been a big fan of Nightwolf. He'd be
Oh,
pretty
that'd be
fun.
fun. I could
That'd
see
be
him
pretty
definitely hanging around in the Nether Realm
yeah,
somewhere.
that'd be
Um,
pretty cool.
I'm trying to
Um,
think who else could possibly show up. Like, actually, from Armageddon, Taven and Dagon would be pretty fun.
I actually have them on
The
this
twins.
list. Yeah,
Yeah,
they'd
that'd
be
be
pretty
cool.
cool. I agree. Um, yeah, I have a well, yeah, I like Tavik. He's a pretty fun character
Hmm.
with his weird shit where he just takes off his limbs, and just beats you with them and stuff. That'd be pretty fun. Um, we have a what did I
I
bring up?
actually, I really want to see Quan Chi actually fight in MK3. That's what I really want to see, but we'll see if it actually
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, that's unfortunate. That's the one thing I could call a nitpick is
Yeah,
the Quan Chi not getting much fighting in the movie, just kind of more
he
relegated
had
to being
like
like he does
one
the magic.
shot. Yeah, he
Yeah,
had like one shot with Shang Tsung when they were going to get Raiden's body, like they were trying to go and try and assassinate him. That's the or rather, it was right after he gets his throat cut, and that's
yeah,
when Quan Chi appears, and him and Sonya Blade fight for like a brief millisecond, and that's it.
yeah. Which, to be fair, he did kind of get one up on her though in that fight, but obviously you don't get
Yeah,
to see any of it because those bright lights are just shining in your eyes. So,
yeah,
but no, I agree. I do want to see a Quan Chi that's like formidable both in combat alongside his his sorcery, of course.
absolutely.
I also think Shang Tsung definitely needs to get some more fighting in there too. I feel like even in the last Mortal Kombat movie 2021, they just kind of had him sit in a chair. He does use his magic, of course, like he does use his sorcery, but I mean all these characters have to fight. I still
Right.
want to see some hand-to-hand combat alongside their mystical stuff they got going on too.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Mhm.
I really just want to see Shinnok. Shinnok's one of my favorite villains in the entire Mortal Kombat franchise, and I want to see how they write him.
Oh man,
Very
dude,
interesting.
Shinnok will be amazing. I mean, we have the amulet. The amulet's gonna be the way to bring him back, so
Right.
we'll definitely be seeing him pretty soon. I did think one thing was interesting from MK3, if you caught on, was that they, and again, it's not a it's not like a detrimental thing or anything. It was kind of interesting that in this in the movie universe, they kind of said that like Raiden was like, "Yeah, the Elder Gods chose you, Johnny," which was like interesting to me because I was like, "Okay, so in this universe, the Elder Gods make the decision of who they end up wanting to fight in Mortal
Mhm.
Kombat," which was again, just a neat thing to bring up. But also again, Arcanas were a thing and now they're not, so it's all kind of all over the place.
Right.
But no, I thought that was interesting. I always thought the elder gods always sounded like this, like, they're just these mystical beings, but when you actually get to see them in the games and stuff, they really don't. I mean, but to be fair, that's the way they're written. They're not gonna do anything. There's always that meme in the fandom about of Raiden being like, "I will consult with the elder gods," and
Yeah.
not do anything.
Yeah.
But with their mention in this movie, I'm sure we could probably see a version of them, like, pop up later, like, just him Raiden going to see them or something, or
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
whoever wants to go with him up there to see them all or whatever, so we'll see, we'll see. And then since you brought up Mortal Kombat 3 and bringing up the movies again, do you have a ranking in mind? Like, I know we're talking so highly of 2, so I'm imagining 2 is on the top of our list, but
I mean,
go going
it kind of
down.
yeah, it goes Mortal Kombat 2, 2021, 95, Annihilation. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. No, that's fair, dude. I agree. I think I have Annihilation at the end. The thing is like like I always said, like for the animated movies list, I was like, well, Journey Begins is at the end, but the rest are awesome. I love all of them.
Yeah.
After Annihilation, I love all 3 of those movies. Uh, I I have them neck and neck, but realistically, I do think 2021 is the objectively better movie. 95 just has that little 90s charm about it. That's all it really is. And I think
Oh,
there's just
totally.
neat
Yeah.
elements. Like back in 95, uh, this isn't really like the reason the movie's so good, or good, is that I really like those practical effects with Goro when they had him as an animatronic. That was pretty sick. Um, Liu Kang is really the main character of that movie, and I don't know why for the longest time people kind of made it sound like Johnny was, and I'm like, but Liu Kang is who you start with. His brother's being killed by Shang Tsung. Also, um, the best Shang Tsung to this day, in my opinion, to be portrayed on screen, from the 95 movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think Kerry Fukunaga did it. I think it's Fukunaga. I could be wrong about that, but he did an excellent job, and I think he's even the one who coined the statement "Your soul is mine," and that's when they implemented it in 2 or 3 going forward.
yeah. They, I believe, they actually, for Mortal Kombat 11, they mocapped his face, so they actually used him as their, like, sort of like for the face of Shang Tsung, they used him for MK11, which was pretty cool. Of course, rest in peace to a amazing actor, but
Yeah,
the work lives on, of course. He's really cool. I think he actually had an appearance in Legacy, if I'm not mistaken. I think in the second season of that, they actually just brought him in randomly, and I thought was pretty sick.
it's
Um,
been way too long since I've watched Legacy. I couldn't tell you.
yeah, Legacy, it's an oddity in the Mortal Kombat uh, media
Yeah,
landscape, but I guess in Conquest is as well. But Conquest at least tried to do something interesting where it just had it be like the Kung Lao, or sorry, no, Kung Lao's the Great Kung Lao. So like the original Kung Lao, that was kind of like their prequel in a way.
yeah,
That was kind of sick. Um, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm good to just cut it here, man. I think we talked pretty much all
yeah,
of it. We've
yeah. I
talked
think we kind of
everything.
talked through everything, wishes and hopes for the third movie, favorite characters, all that fun stuff. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's not a lot, but there is a lot when you really get down to it and you start thinking about it, and previous games who you want to see. Like I know Tremor was almost in 2.
Mm,
He was
yeah,
almost in 2, which makes me think they're probably going to throw him in 3 if they can. But
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see what happens.
If they had that concept already, like kind of in the, you know, already there for it, they're probably gonna
Mhm.
just want to reuse that into 3. So
Right.
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, this franchise, one of my favorite franchises of all time. I'm pretty happy with what's gonna happen in this in the going forward in the future. Hopefully, we get those remasters of or remaster of Shaolin Monks. We get a Mortal Kombat 13, Injustice 3. Hopefully, will be coming out. So yeah, yeah. But either way, I mean, I appreciate you coming on, Phil. It's been good talking to you about Mortal Kombat. You know, always great. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
huge fan of this franchise. Always game to talk about it whenever, something new happens for it.
yeah, for sure. We'll try to come back when something like whether it's the next movie or like maybe if the game comes out and we just so happen to both be playing it, we could talk about that too.
Totally.
So yeah, so for everyone that came or everyone that's watching, thank you for watching, appreciate you. Where can we find you, Phil, on your socials?
Everywhere except X. I'm not on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it, but just at unfiltered. UNPHILTEREDDD. That's on TikTok, Vero, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, thank you, Phil, and thank you for everyone that's watching, and peace out. We're out.